Brynhildr in the Darkness is a science fiction Japanese manga series by Lynn Okamoto that began serialization in Shueisha's seinen manga magazine Weekly Young Jump in January 2012. A television anime adaptation by ARMS began airing on April 6, 2014. Plot: the original manga revolves around high school boy Ryota Murakami, who cannot forget his female childhood friend whom he let die in an accident. Feeling that he must fulfill their promise of proving the existence of aliens, he has continuously looked up at the starry sky as a member of the astronomy club. One day, a girl named Neko Kuroa who looks exactly like his childhood friend appears as a transfer student. She displays supernatural strength when saving Ryota from a foreseen accident. It turns out that Neko is a magic user that has run away from an alien research lab. From then on, Ryota supports these magic users, hoping to live normal lives regardless of being pursued. How will Ryota's life change now? Characters: Astronomy Club, Ryota Murakami, voiced by Ryota Oesaka, the main protagonist with high intellect and a photographic memory. Ryota has his sights set on being a researcher at NASA due to a promise he made with his beloved childhood friend Neko. He is president of the Astronomy Club and was the only remaining member before inviting Neko and the others. After meeting the magic users, he decides to provide shelter for them at an old observatory despite knowing that their pursuers have orders to kill whoever comes in contact with them, usually coming up with plans to have their location concealed. All the while, he is constantly looking for ways to acquire more death suppressants, drugs which are necessary to keep the magic users alive. After the Valkyria incident, Ryota struggles in hopes for Neko to remember the time they spent together, while the others search for their lost families and live normally. Neko Kuroa, voiced by Risa Tanada, Neko is the lead heroine in the series and a B-rank magic user with the ability of telekinesis, to destroy inorganic matter as far as 12 meters. She has a striking resemblance to Ryota's supposedly deceased childhood friend Neko, and it is later proven that both are one and the same. Her research known as 7620. Like Ryota, she aims to find out how many constellations there are in total. When she uses her powers, part of her memories are lost. Ryota thus refrains from having her use them as much as possible. She joins the Astronomy Club as its vice president. She loves to sing, but does not do it in front of others without getting flustered. When Neko's true power is awakened, she remembers who she really is. She regains full access to her S-ranked power. This allows her to use the same type of abilities as Marco, as well as her ultimate ability of creating a micro-black hole which she used to defeat Marco's antimatter, but overexerted herself at the cost of losing all her memories, including recent ones. Kana Tachibana, voiced by Aya Suzaki, a non-standard B-ranked magic user who had an accident while being harnessed. Her magic is the ability to see the near future when someone is about to die. Her entire body is paralyzed aside from her left hand. Kana uses a keyboard which synthesizes her voice to communicate with the outside world. Her research known as 4010. Ryota makes use of this to prepare in advance against those who pose a threat to Neko and the others. Kazumi states that Kana could move if she wanted to, but she refrains from doing so for unknown reasons. Kana poses as a mascot for the club. She is initially rude to Ryota and the others, but she eventually warms up to them. She has to have her food in a liquid form to eat. After pushing the third button on her harness, Kana loses her foresight ability in exchange for the ability to move at super speed, though has low stamina. Kazumi Shiorenzawa, voiced by Mao, a rank B+ magic user specialized in computer hacking, gathering intel, and breaking encryption keys in mere seconds. Kazumi is half German, but speaks Japanese with a Kansai dialect. Her research known as 2670. Like Neko, Kazumi is a high school student who joins the same class and club as Ryota and Neko. Kazumi tends to do perverted things. She gets angry when someone compares her chest size or makes fun of it. Following the act of falsely confessing to Ryota to avoid her impending death informed by Mizuka, Kazumi proved her feelings for Ryota afterwards, and desires to bear a child with him as living proof of her existence. She is named after Austrian ski jumper Gregor Schlierenzauer. Kotori Takatari, voiced by Azusa Tadokaro, another rank B magic user specialized in teleportation, though in reality she can only swap places with other people. Her research no is 1107. Kotori is cheerful but is also a klutz. She has good cooking skills and also registers for the club. She was friends with another magic user named Chai who died because she gave up her death suppressants to allow Kotori to live long enough to celebrate her birthday. The Vingulf is after Kotori as their main objective, apparently being a person that could potentially destroy the world. Her real name is Rina. She has two hidden abilities, one is dispelling magical entity called the Grain, which prevents all powers of other magic users, and second is Ein Sof, or also known as the light that rules over life, which can only be used when the consciousness inside her harness is released, is a light that is capable of fusing the cells of all living things together at the same time once it fully covers the entire planet, destroying all life. When this power is released, Kotori asks Ryota to kill her in order to prevent it by ejecting her harness, which he reluctantly does. Hatsuna Wakabayashi, voiced by Yumi Urashiyama, she is a fellow B magic user with a straightforward attitude who possesses the power of regeneration with the capability of restoring her body, or the body of others, from otherwise fatal injuries. Her regeneration is so effortlessly potent that she's able to regenerate from just her harness, meaning that she can only die if she doesn't take the medicine within the standard period of time or if her eject button is pressed. When she tested Ryota's loyalty, she immediately becomes infatuated with him. Vingulf, Kasato Ishijiku, voiced by Hierarchy Tachi, the chief professor in charge of the magic user experiment. It is told the Vingulf organization unearthed aliens 100 years ago but never made it a public discovery, instead they began their top-secret alien technology research over it ever since. His goal is to capture and kill the escapee magic users, seeing the B-rank magic users as failed specimens, and create the perfect alien. In college, he was successful in researching the digestive enzyme about protease which could be the source of the melting. He eventually learns how a high school boy is supporting the magic users, but has yet to identify its Ryota until Marco confirms Kotori's location. Kasato is Rina's older brother whom he only shows empathy to until her death. He implanted the grain into Kotori's harness, hoping to revive the Rina that he knew, which is against the organization's intentions. He later died from blocking the bullets for Marco. Black Suit, voiced by Tatsuhisa Suzuki, a staff member at the research lab. He has an unknown backstory, but he used to feel really carefree for the magic users, like Yuki. Kasato acknowledges him for his brilliance. He gets fired when having failed his last chance to capture the fugitive B-rank magic users with Mizuka's foresight, and then he is victim of an assassination attempt, but survives, although his brain has been greatly injured. Yuki Tsuchiya, a newly appointed employee placed to work at the Vingulf Research Lab. Not suitable for the job however, she finds sympathy with the aliens and magic users. Witches, Marco Fujisaki, voiced by Momoko Noto, one of the strongest hybrid magic users ever known with the S-rank called a Valkyria. She is Kasato's sidekick and the next-generation magic user with a very complex harness. Marco's power capability is very large, with 8 different abilities. Her strongest power is to create antimatter which is capable of destroying a whole wide-range area. She can kill anyone in her sight within just seconds by dismembering them, and also has ability to teleport, and regenerate quickly. She has a sociopathic personality, and has deep feelings towards Kasato. Marco is also Neko's older sister and she seems to be very protective towards her. After a gruesome fight with Neko, she was absorbed into Neko's micro-black hole and all that was left is her harness. Ryota then trampled on Marco's Dressel and eliminated her for good. Nanami Tokon, voiced by Manami Numakura, a unique KA+ rank magic user. She is soft-spoken, and has a taste in sugar. Her research no is 5210. Her ability is scanning and modifying people's memories. Ryouta's observant skills impresses her. After having become friends with Neko and the club, she unfortunately melts from her harness dejected but managed to implant her consciousness within Ryouta's memory and shall only appear whenever Ryouta in a desperate situation. Kikako, an AA+ rank magic user titled as the Bombardment Unit. Her research known as 5010. She's a mere weapon that assassinates her targets with a strong beam fired from her mouth. Kotori ties her own hands to a pole and then switches positions with Kikako, who is later taken back to the lab. Despite Black Suit's assurances that, having succeeded in her mission, she will be spared, she is warned that harsh punishment awaits her. She is violently interrogated regarding her encounter with Kotori. Sori, an AA-rank hybrid magic user with 2 types of magic. She is able to slice anything within a 3-meter radius and can manipulate time by 1 minute, although it will cause her to hang up immediately. Her research known as 6001. As she failed to kill Neko, her harness dejected and her body melted as a result. Frian, a ranked AAA magic user. She possesses the power of technopathy and computer hacking similar to Kazumi, and is said to be the most powerful in that regard. Kusato gave Frian a room full of video games in exchange of her cooperation. She is now under the care of Yuki. Frian briefly engages in a battle with Kazumi. Mizuka, the AAA rank strongest magic user, codename, Skadi. She has the foresight ability to see in a dream. Similar to Kana, but with 100% exact accuracy. Like Kana, her body also suffered a massive penalty for this power and as a result she is no longer able to move or hear. Mizuka bonds with Yuki. In a future dream, she gives Kazumi options as to which future she wishes to choose. Using the last of her power, she melts the moment she informs the lab of Kotori's whereabouts. Hist, another S-rank magic user that was created by Vingal following Marco's death. It is said that her powers are even stronger. Hexenjagd, Miki, voiced by Rina Sato, a member of Hexenjagd, a group resisting Vingulf. Miki initially speaks to Ryouta via the device that Neko gives him. She first appears with the objective of capturing Kotori in order to confront Kusato and destroy the grain inside Kotori. Miki wears a nun's hood with a short dress and stockings. She announces that all of the magic users must die. When Ryouta protests, Miki explains the truth about witches, that their soul now resides inside the alien called Dressel within their harness and that the drugs merely feed the life form, allowing the Dressel to grow until it eventually hatches and devours their human body. She tells them that they sympathize with their plight. Miki offers the ingredients and protocol to create the death suppressant medicine in exchange for their assistance. Kazumi agrees to help find Kotori, but Miki promises that she will give them the formula for the drug after they destroy the grain, and that she will try to spare Kotori's life if possible. After Kotori's death, she fulfills her part of the bargain and gives Ryouta access to the formula, allowing Kotori to provide the medicine to Neko and the others. Initializer, voiced by Junko Minugawa, also a member of Hexenjagd, he has appearance of a little boy. His real name is unknown. Initializer has ability to nullify all kinds of magic from a witch, but he has to know what magic a witch used before he could initialize them. However, he can only nullify a witch's magic for only 8 seconds. When he reached his limit, he would become visually pained and begins to bleed from his mouth and nose. It is unknown how could he have such ability. Akane, voiced by Yui Kondo, a former Vingulf researcher who got wounded during Neko's escaping attempt. Hexenjagd is responsible for the magic user's release. She gave Neko a package and entrusted her the following mission: save the world from utter destruction. The package contains a letter, an alien's fertilized egg, and a communication device. Neko gave the alien sample and the communication device to Ryouta. Others, Goro Hashiratani, voiced by Kentaro Itou, Ryouta's uncle. Working as a scientist whom Ryouta entrusts to reproduce the medicine needed for the magic users. He dislikes traveling long distances, rejecting invitations that includes going overseas, and prefers to stay in his own town. He refuses to believe in supernatural phenomenon until Kana's foresight was proven or witnessing Nanami's death. Then he gets fascinated in examining an alien's fertilized egg that Ryota had him look up on. Goru went to the same college with Kusato, whom he admired. Kizuka Hatsuda, a middle school student who lives next door to Ryota that he tutors. She is a crush on Ryota that he is completely oblivious to. She later becomes classmates with Kana when she starts attending middle school and befriends her after learning of her secret. Media, manga. The Gokukoku no Brynhildr manga is written and illustrated by Lynn Okamoto. It began serialization in Shueisha's Weekly Young Jump on January 2012. The first tankobon volume was released on May 18, 2012. 9 volumes have been released as of April 18, 2014. Anime. An anime adaptation was announced on November 11, 2013. The anime is directed by Kenichi Imazumi at Studio Arms, with Yukinari Kitajima acting as head writer and Hiroaki Kurasu as chief animation director and character designer. The series premiered on April 6, 2014 on Tokyo MX and later on YTV, CTV, BS11 and ATX. For episodes 1 to 9 the opening is Brynhildr in the Darkness for Ejected by Now Tokugawa. From episode 10 onwards, the opening is Virtua and Vice by Fear, and Loathing in Las Vegas. The ending song is Ikebanoshi by Risa Tanada, Aya Suzaki, MAO, and Azusa Tadokuro. References. External links, manga official website, anime official website, Gokukoku no Brynhildr at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia, Brynhildr in the Darkness at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia.